Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to a $370 gaming PC build, give or take a couple dollars depending on where you shop. Let's get right into this video. By the way, this is a little bit cheaper than the current consoles that are out. The Xbox One and the PS4 are both $400 right now in the States, and again, this is a stateside build, so if you live in the States, that's what you're getting this price for. I know some of you guys overseas are getting, shafted for PC parts, and I'm gonna try to get back to doing overseas builds, so check out for those in the near future. But with that being said, let's get right into this video. For the CPU of this build, I went with the Intel Pentium G3258 3.2 GHz dual-core CPU. Now, the dual-core name value just in itself scares away a lot of people. People think it's a dual-core, it must be garbage, it must be, the sin of PC gaming. That is not the case at all, guys. Dual-cores are actually still very capable of running most titles at very good settings if you pair it with a decent graphics card. I mean, most titles today still recommend a dual-core, or at least have a minimum requirement of a dual-core. Games like Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, I would imagine. The beta was running on dual-cores pretty easily from what I've read. Shadows of Mordor. Games like that, you're going to be able to get by with a dual-core. Yes, you're not going to be maxing the games out, and the dual-core will hold you back, but it's a $350 build, $370 build, depending on where you shop again. So you're not going to be expecting max settings on all games and all of that jazz. So a dual-core CPU is going to work just fine, and it's $70 and it's 3.2 GHz. This is actually fairly easy to overclock as well, so if you pick up a nice CPU cooler, that's an option as well. Moving on to the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte GA-B85M-D2V. All the links and the PC part picker will be in the description box below, so if you have a hard time following anything, it's all in the description box. This is about a $49 motherboard, and it's got all the features you need. 2 RAM slots, so that's kind of a drawback, but again, it's 49 bucks, has everything you need and pretty much nothing else. It does have SATA 6 and USB 3, so that's nice. Core i7, Core i5, Core i3, Pentium, Celeron, all that jazz. So you can go for some upgradability options in the future if you want to. For a $49 board, I thought this was pretty sufficient in the build. Even though it's cheap, it's going to get the job done in this $370 build. For the RAM, I went with G.Skill Ripjaws X Series 4GB, 1 stick of 4GB of memory, 1600 MHz. A lot of you guys ask why I don't get two 2GB sticks. Yes, that would perform better, but the thing is, if you get two 2GB sticks, you're not going to be able to go for an 8GB configuration in the future unless you scrap all the memory entirely. With this, you get 4GB now, and you can pick up the same kit of RAM 6 months to a year down the line, and you'll have 8GB. And 8GB is something that's going to start becoming more and more of a necessity, so I think it's better to, take a hit on the performance now and then really get the better performance at a cheaper price in the future. I think that's a way better option. And 4GB of RAM still can run most games and performs fairly well. Battlefield 4, Shadows of Mordor, all those games still can run on 4GB of RAM. That's another thing that scares people away. It's like, why don't you get 8? Well, 8GB is fairly expensive at about $70, $80, so it's way more price efficient on a $370 build to get 1 stick for $40 and then just upgrade it down the line 6 months to a year, like I said, with another stick of the same RAM for $40. I'm sure you guys can make 40 bucks in a year. For the hard drive, I went with Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB. It's a 1TB hard drive, 7200 RPM, $55 after a $5 mail-in rebate. Fairly solid hard drive. It's 1TB of storage space. Obviously, no SSD in this build, but it's a Caviar Blue. If you guys do want to pick up a 2 or 3TB, go ahead if you have that disposable income, because a lot of these games these days, the file sizes are increasing a lot. A game like Assassin's Creed 4, I think, was like 30 gigabytes. Titanfall is like 50. The games are just crazy. Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein, is like 45 gigabytes, so just keep that in mind. A lot of these games are very big as far as file sizes is concerned, and if you are the kind of guy that likes to have, all your games installed at once, it's not a bad idea to get a 2 or 3TB drive, but it's by no means is a 1TB bad. I definitely think you can get by with a 1TB. Like always, you can just uninstall and reinstall games. That's no problem at all. For the graphics card, I went with the XFX Radeon R7 260X 1GB Core Edition video card. It's $100 after a $20 mail-in rebate. Really solid video card if you're playing games at a lower resolution like 1600 by 900 or 1280 by 720. But even at 1080p gaming, you're going to be getting solid frame rates at some of the higher end titles like BF4 at medium settings, 35 to 40 frames per second. Don't expect anything out of this world with a $100 graphics card, but it's definitely capable of playing games. And you're getting a couple free games from AMD's rewards program, so that's always a nice bonus for $100. This is a really good buy in my opinion, and you know, it's just a really good low-end GPU that can still run most of the higher-end games at decent settings and decent frame rates, just not, you know, maxed out, anti-aliasing up the butt, 60 FPS, all that kind of jazz. You're not going to be getting that. For the power supply, I went with the Rosewell 450 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply. This is a pretty good power supply for about $25 after a $20 mail-in rebate. Like I said, 80 plus bronze certified, 450 watts. Just a good solid power supply. It's from Rosewell. They make pretty good products. And I was looking for the cheapest 450 watt 80 plus bronze certified. I was looking at the CX430 as well, but that power supply's price has actually gone up over the last few months. So this is definitely a better buy, and it's 80 plus bronze certified. And in this kind of build, you'll take what you can get that's 80 plus bronze certified. If it's cheap, 80 plus bronze certified, and it's from a reliable manufacturer like Rosewell, that's a good buy. It's cheap, it's reliable, that's all you need. Finally, for the case, I went with the NZXT Source 210, $35 for this case. It's kind of a basic mid-tower case, but as far as aesthetics goes, but the interior is fairly well done, and it does have a couple of upgradability options and things of that nature, but, you know, don't expect anything out of this world for a $35 case, kind of a real basic case, but in my opinion, case is one of the last things you should be worrying about in a budget end build. Worry about the interior, then, you know, what holds it. Fucking buy a cardboard box if you need to save that $35. But yeah, you get the point. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment, and I will catch you all later for the next video. Goodbye.